Figure skating just concluded at the Winter Olympics, and I want to talk about it. In case you guys have been living under a rock, the Winter Olympics have been going on since February, and it's still going on until the end of the month, I believe. But figure skating just concluded. It went from the 9th to the 19th, and I want to talk about it. I'm your host, Seb, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below what your favorite winter sport has been going on or what your favorite performance has been so far. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So the real standout of the Winter Olympics was Alysa Liu, and I'm sure that if you guys have been paying attention, you guys have seen clips of her already just because of how electric her performance was. And the only other people that I watched were Ilya and then the Japanese girl. Her name starts with an N. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but shout out to all of them. But I want to focus this video specifically on Alysa Liu just because of her story and like her performance. I just thought that it was something to share. So Alysa Liu ended up helping Team USA get third in the team skate, and then she got third in the short program, and then she ended up taking Olympic gold in the free skate. And so in case you guys aren't familiar with what all of those terms mean, the team skate, I guess I couldn't tell you what all of the specific events are there, but for the short program, it's about 2 minutes and 40 seconds long, and the skaters are supposed to say the techniques that they're going to be using for that event and then execute on those. And then they get graded on if they ended up executing the right move and then how well they ended up doing it. Versus in the free skate, it's 4 minutes long and it's a little bit more expressive, so that way people can actually dance and showcase their skills. And so my favorite part about figure skating is the fact that it combines two things that I'm a sucker for. One is competition, and two, it's for art. And I did not realize how amazing figure skating was, just because it's basically dancing on ice. And I can't believe no one's opened my eyes to this before. I mean, I've been loving every single second of it from all the performances that I've seen, but especially Alysa Liu. And what was crazy about her is like the songs that she chose. I mean, I'm not familiar with figure skating, but they were like stuff that I didn't think would fly. For her short program, she ended up doing the song Promise by LaFay, and then she did a really big upbeat tempo song for her free skate. And I don't know what the song is off the top of my head, but I just want to say that like those song choices were amazing, especially with the performance that she ended up putting on. And the reason why the performance was so amazing is because she literally looked so loose and so happy to be there. And that's the thing that I want to talk about the most in this video, because I feel like in most sports, us athletes kind of forget sometimes that we're supposed to be out there and enjoying it. And usually you see the ones that are doing the best, that are succeeding the most, are the ones that are having the most fun with it. And the reason why I want to focus on that is just because I, along with other people that I know, have suffered from like getting inside of our own heads when it comes to competing. In fact, that was actually a part of Alysa Liu's story and her whole comeback into this Olympics. Because in case you guys didn't know, she actually started when she was younger, when she was 13, and she professionally figure skated till she was about 18 years old or 16 years old, I can't remember. And then she ended up retiring for a little bit. And she's 20 now. She took a couple years off, and then she decided to come back into the program. But the reason why she ended up leaving in the first place is because she didn't have control over her sport. It was something that she enjoyed, but you know, her parents made all the decisions, and then her coaches made all the decisions about what she needed to wear, what she needed to do, the techniques, the dance, everything. And that wasn't who she was. She wanted control over it. And so when she did end up making that comeback, it was because she missed skating. And I bet it was something that she loved all the time, but she didn't love how people made her feel about it. And so this time around, she told herself that she was going to be in charge of everything. She ended up choosing her coaches, which ended up being the first coach that she had. And she chose all of her dresses and all of the songs that she wanted to dance to. And I mean, congrats to her, because her performance turned out amazing. And I think her story is something that's super relatable, because there are so many of us athletes out there that start off in a sport young because our parents showed it to us, and because maybe they did it and we wanted to be like them, or maybe we actually did fall in love with it. But somebody else along the way tried to tell you exactly how you needed to play, exactly how you needed to be, what you needed to do. And so it made you kind of lose sight of it. And then you end up going to high school, you maybe go to college and compete for a little bit, and then you fall out of love with the sport. And then you take a year gap, couple years off, come back to it. And now when there's no pressure to compete because you're not on a scholarship, you're not on a team, it's all just for fun. That's when it all comes back to you. And I think that this story from Alysa is representative of that idea and that culture that continues to happen. But yet she went and overcame all of that. And you can see it through her expression, because the whole time she's literally just smiling, and you can feel like how much she's loving it out there. Not in the sense for like her going out there to try to win, but it's more just in a sense of she wanted to go out there and perform, because that's what she loves to do. And I hope that that's a message that any athletes that are watching this might end up hearing and learning from, because we can go out there and compete and still love it. You know, you don't have to win. You don't even have to place top 3. You don't even have to go far in a tournament. You can get first rounded, but as long as you know that you tried everything that you could and gave it everything you had, and you had fun while doing it, then that's all that really matters. But to focus now back on Alysa and how her performance was, it was just incredible. The amount of tricks that she ended up doing and how like flowy it all felt, it was insane. And I want to say that her short program was really emotional, and I heard somebody say that the song that she chose, Promise, was actually like a reference to figure skating, because during the song at one point it says something along the lines of, it's hard being with you, but it's even harder not having you, or something along those lines. And somebody said that's probably what she felt like during figure skating. And it's even more like impressive that that's what it was, because it's got that like emotional connection to her sport and how she's performing. And maybe that's why it ended up being so emotional for her and so like freeing. But then in her free skate program, it was just all upbeat. It's super fun, and the tempo change and how she does like all of her twirls, man, like she literally looked like one of those marionette boxes that you spin around and just like twirls on its own. Like she was actually cooking. And the best part about it too is that she seems like a really wholesome person. You know, I hope nothing comes out in like a couple of years or whatever that says that she's otherwise not wholesome. But all of her interviews and all of her interactions, she genuinely looks like she's happy to be there, and she's rooting for everybody else too. You know, it's not only about her. She wants the other people around her to succeed, because she knows what it's like to be young and go out there and compete and have all that pressure on you. In case you guys haven't watched her performance, I'm going to go ahead and link it in the description. But I really want to give my opinions on it, especially like how well she did and what it meant for all the athletes out there that were watching it, and you know, or maybe thinking about making a comeback in your own sport. You just got to remember that it's on your own terms. And to anybody who's out there competing right now, and you know, maybe you're thinking about leaving the sport, just try to remember like what got you in there in the first place and what's holding you back from like reaching that potential. Because at the end of the day, we need to go and do things because they're fun to us, not because we want to go win or succeed. Because if you focus on winning, then the fear becomes what happens if you lose, you know? And it should never be about that. It should be, let me give it my all, and what happens, happens. You know, you can't control anything outside of that. And so hopefully all of you guys can remember that, and I hope that this message ends up like positively affecting somebody. But definitely go check out her performance, because even if you're not someone who's into figure skating, like I still think that the expression and her moves, it's just too good to not see. Anyways, I think there's still 1 week left of the Olympics. I'm not completely up to date on the schedule, but you guys should continue watching and supporting your respective countries, respective teams, respective people, and let's hope to get a couple more good events out of it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.